Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, the internet, and the like, and welcome back to Team Fortress 2. And today, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be playing as, but it probably doesn't matter because it is Christmas Eve, and I'm just approaching you in this video to say, Merry Christmas. I probably won't have the opportunity to make any videos over the next 2 or 3 days due to the fact that it's going to be pretty busy, going to be seeing lots of family, and quite potentially just going to be as lazy as humanly possible. I mean, everyone kind of gets like that on Christmas vacation, so yeah, I just want to say Merry Christmas. I do hope you all have a wonderful and safe holiday, you all get to see your families, all that really good stuff that really brings us all together. Now, with the typical Christmas card greeting out of the way, I would kind of like to refer to the latest TF2 update, the Smissmas update. Now, as you might know, everyone kind of anticipates the new Smissmas update, and everyone kind of gets excited for it. Me personally, I have a little slight factor of excitement. I wanted to see what kind of new festive weapons they would add. I wasn't really anticipating anything that would necessarily be new, and I was genuinely surprised by what this update delivered in terms of weaponry. First of all, it added 3 new weapons, 2 actual explosive weapons for the demo man, a new grenade launcher and a sticky bomb launcher, which I'm really glad to actually see in the game. I probably won't be making a video on that since most people have already sort of given their input and their first impressions, and I kind of have to agree with them on that. There is also a new multi-class shotgun called the Panic Attack, which I'm actually going to be making a video on hopefully soon. Hopefully sometime after Christmas when I get the opportunity, because I have yet to actually acquire one. So this update mostly focused on adding a lot of changes to the demo man, and well, let's just say if anything involves the sticky bomb launcher being changed or nerfed, then chances are the community is going to complain about it so much that the changes will be reverted eventually. Now, I'm just going to call it out right now. I get the feeling the same thing is going to happen as it did on the Love and War update. Possibly not, depending on how many people are just really observant about what happens with the demo man whenever his weapons get a change, but let's just say it's probably not going to be pretty. Not as pretty as all the snow that's falling on the ground, presumably. I'm looking out my window right now, and I'm not seeing any snow, so yeah, it's not exactly going to be a very pretty situation. Now, obviously, there is one thing that stuck out like a sore thumb to a lot of people, myself included, and that would be this new manpower game mode. You know, grappling hooks, 5 CP maps, slight edits, general lighting, texture bugs, and stuff like that. If you really want to know all my thoughts on everything that's just transpired in the past couple of days, you can go watch Star's video, because I pretty much agree with a lot of his sentiments. Everything about this new game mode has gotten me thinking, what exactly warranted it? Why did it come to exist? And what is Valve necessarily trying to accomplish? So I will try to keep this short. I really don't want to go exactly rambling on about what I think about Valve is trying to do these days. But let me be clear about one theory that my friend MageBones came up with. And granted, this is probably the most plausible theory I've heard so far, so here it goes. Mage believes that because in the previous update, as you might know, which would be the end of the line, because CP Snowplow was completely thrown out the window into the trash bin below, that's probably why this new game mode was added, which was obviously poorly thrown together in the past 12 days, because clearly there are plenty of balancing issues. There are lots of things that still need to be repaired, and I think they might have fixed the lighting in some of the maps. I'm gonna have to look at it at some point, but that still doesn't change the fact that I have a general disinterest in the game mode itself. So if I understand this correctly, End of the Line's CP Snowplow was cancelled in favor of this new manpower game mode, regardless of the fact that TF2 is meant to be left in the hands of the community? What kind of convoluted logic is this? I know Valve still has to have their say in TF2 updates. They need to focus on keeping the game balanced, and they need to at least moderate what kind of new content gets in the game. But with a preposterous decision such as cancelling CP Snowplow, and adding this new game mode, which was already confusing enough and unbalanced enough as is, what exactly is Valve trying to do with TF2 right now? I mean, maybe it's sort of become a bit of a side project. A lot of the things that they're trying to patch right now, with like Left 4 Dead 2 or possibly TF2, TF2 being the main focus, of course, because this is a game that's just pretty much been in an infinite development phase. It's not exactly like a beta anymore. Obviously, it's been official release, it's free to play, stuff like that, but they're constantly adding new updates and patching this game. But these new updates just don't feel as well thought out as some of the previous ones. Man vs. Machine was one of the updates I was so impressed by. It took them such a long time to compose a total tower defense gameplay, but they did. They finally made this new game mode. It was added to the game, and I absolutely love it. I would love to see more maps with that. But since they're trying to leave it in the hands of the community, I feel like they've sort of got the split personality disorder, and more or less, with Frankenstein and Igor trying to put more stitches into the monster, Frankenstein seems to be hogging a lot more of the stitches, and Igor seems to be doing the pedicure. Like, he's getting all the crappy jobs, and he's not being able to add anything that he wants to said monster, and that's pretty much what my analogy is for TF2 as of the current situation. So if the community just doesn't get what it wants, a good example would be the Engineer vs. Spy update that's been rumored for a while now. Let's just say, for the sake of argument right here, if that update were cancelled, then TF2 would possibly lose more of its fanbase, and chances are I'd probably see a lot of usernames on Steam with stupid tags like Rampant Pepperoni, hashtag GG, don't read TF2, rest in pepperoni, stuff like that, really, and I'm not really looking forward to that. There's obviously a part of me that just wants TF2 to die already so that way we can move on to new projects. One other rumor, there's a lot of rumors in this video, I just noticed, but hear me out. One rumor I've heard is a second generation of a Source engine that's going to be coming out eventually, and there's the possibility of a Left 4 Dead 3, and oh yeah, there's also the fated Half-Life 3 that's going to be coming out. I really don't know. Again, this could just be some baseless conjecture that I, of course, don't really have much in the way of evidence on, but it's a possibility. Let's just keep it in mind. If this new generation of Valve games is going to be approaching us, then I would just love for TF2 to just stop its update phase, and maybe we could just move on to some of the newer projects that Valve is going to be focusing on. Or even then, it's not just exclusive to Valve. There is also the possibility that Overwatch will be a complete success. If anyone is familiar with Overwatch, then I know I haven't really discussed it before, but it's going to be a new game by Blizzard Entertainment that's going to be coming out whenever, and a lot of people are pretty excited for it. Some people are a little bit sketchy over it. Me, I'm sort of in the middle between those, because I don't want to hold my expectations high. It's not very often that a new video game comes out, and it holds such a long-standing and active community as Team Fortress 2 has. So, if Overwatch exceeds my expectations, then I'll be glad to just have actually participated, and I might start doing a video series on that. Who knows? It could be an actual thing that I'd love to do. And I guess we'll just see when the time comes. I think part of me is just really begging to be part of a new fan base where I'm not, like, left in the dust. I feel like I joined TF2 at such a late phase that I'm just kind of disappointed with a lot of my performance. I would have loved to have a lot more prior experience with that game, but of course, you cannot change the past. Ergo, I should probably just stop complaining about it and see what comes up in the future. So, I hate to leave on a bit of a negative note in terms of Team Fortress 2, because I understand that TF2 is constantly going to be in its development phase until something new arises, and obviously they're not going to be able to please everyone, those bigwigs at Valve, and yeah, it's a little bit disappointing to think about at this point, I said as I sighed into my microphone, which you're probably going to be really mad about hearing. And I'm just rambling right now, so this is probably just going to be the end of the video. Once again, I would just like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe holiday, and that's going to wrap things up. So, thank you guys very much for watching, have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.